So I'm hanging out in the shop yesterday afternoon, and my buddy Zach swings by. So naturally, whenever you get two Mopar guys together, the horse trading starts. So we're going back and forth. I gave him some headers, he gave me some mounts, and so as things go on, I says, I'm looking I need a bench seat for an A-body. I need a good frame and tracks for an A-body. He says, I don't have anything. He says, but did you see the Dart over at Polo Park? I says, no, I haven't been around, I haven't been making my rounds lately. So he says, yeah, they got a 73 Slinger in there. It's complete. I saw it about 2 weeks ago. And it had a good bench seat in it. Go check it out. So this morning, it's raining, it's snowing, it's miserable. I said, well, I got to at least go see what this car is. So I jump in the truck and I head out there. And right where he says it was, just as he said it was, it's a complete 73 Slinger. So some stuff has been pilfered off the car. Somebody grabbed the gauge cluster out of it, the underhood wiring harnesses, stuff like that. But I'm looking the car over, and it's complete. It's all there. I can't really climb underneath the car, but I stick my face underneath. The frame wheels look good. The floors look good. The front fenders, perfect. Somebody cut up one of the front fenders to get a hinge out, but before it was cut up, straight, no rust, no dents. The doors are pristine. All the glass is good in the car. The rear quarters, the passenger side rear quarter, a couple of little small rust spots, no big deal. The driver's side quarter had like a pushing dent, but other than that, it was straight. It was all there. Like this car didn't need quarters. It was a vinyl roof car, so the C-pillars were gone. I mean, gone, right? Like we're like not even rust, just missing. But not a bad patch, not a bad patch job. Anybody moderate fabrication skills could have fixed that. Not a big deal. And as I'm looking this car over, I'm saying, yeah, it's so complete. Like under the hood, it's a slant six car, and under the hood, everything is there. The carburetor is there, the distributor is there, all ready to go. It was the kind of car that I looked at and I said, well, if somebody spent an hour or two tinkering on this, they could drive it out of here. But unfortunately, it's a pull apart. It's a scrap yard, and so nothing can ever leave there. The laws vary from state to state, but basically, these scrap places, as soon as the car goes over the scales, that's it. It's done. It can never leave there in one piece. And generally, they're given a period of time, 90 days, where if the car's got a lot of good parts on it, they'll let it sit out in the field so people can pick at it for like 90 days, and that's it. Whatever's left, boom, goes to the crusher. It boggles my mind that in this day and age, it's 2020, this car's like almost 50 years old. It boggles my mind how a car like this can end up in a situation like that. I mean, this is a car, there are tens of thousands of people all over the world that are looking for this car. It's an 1870s two-door Dodge Dart Slinger. But yet, here it is in a place where it's in the kill shelter. It'll never find its way out of here. It's different than a regular junkyard, let's say, where they have a lot of space. And cars will sit for however long it takes. 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, depending on the desirability of the car or the condition of the car. It can sit there for decades until somebody will come along and finally either pick the whole car out or the thing gets picked away until there's nothing left. But when a car goes to in one of these scrappers, that's it. Very short period of time, whatever isn't sold off the car, it's crushed, it's gone forever. And a car like this, there's so much beautiful stuff. Like I said, the frame rails are solid. You have to see the car to really appreciate it. How things like this happen today, I don't know. But cars like this do fall through the cracks. Generally, what happens with something like this is the car is in somebody's backyard, it's under a carport, it's in a garage, it's in a barn, and then that person moves or they die or whatever it happens to be, and they call the guy that advertises, I buy junk cars. He comes along, gives them $100 for the car, drops it off over at the scrapper, they run it over to scale, he gets like $300 for it, he's made his day's pay, and that car is gone forever. When I was, there's nothing wrong with parting cars. I was in the business for 10 years, I parted cars out. But it's the way that it's done. Like if I had taken a car like that Slinger in, and I've done this many times, I put the car intact on the side and only sell like small inconsequential pieces off of it. You know, somebody's looking for a map light setup, so I'll sell that. Somebody's looking for a license plate light or whatever. You know, you sell that, but you try to leave the car intact, because if somebody's going to come along and want the whole thing, you know, or big sections of it, you know, it's there for them. It's an equitable way to let these cars go. And you know, parting cars is a necessity. You know, for every one car that gets parted, 10 cars live because of it. So it's not like I'm down on parting out cars. It's just the way it happens to be done. But for you guys that are out there looking for projects, like looking for a car that you can build, you know, cheap, this is a good way to find one. Learn the lay of the land as far as the local scrappers go. Every town has them. You know, the guys that advertise, I buy cars for junk. I used to have deals like that worked out with the scrappers. I tell them, listen, I double whatever the price, whatever your scale price is, I'll double it. Or you can offer a bounty. You know, I'll give you 300, 400, 500 bucks for any car that I buy, right? So to keep you in mind, they're not looking for any, they don't care what car it is, they're just looking for a day's pay. So if you can offer that to them, they'll keep you in mind, and when something like that comes along, they'll contact you. But it's a shame. Cars, like this lot, a lot of stuff happens to go through this lot. We were there, I guess it was about 2 years ago now, and there was a 62 Corvair turbo car sitting in there. This thing was beautiful. It had every little bit. The turbocharger was on it, the carburetor was on it, all the little, everything was there. It was a complete car. Couldn't save it, couldn't pull it out of there. I didn't want the Corvair for myself, but it was like, okay, you know, let me save this thing and somebody else will want it, you know. I just saved the car, I guess it was about a month ago. It was a 71 Valiant, 4-door car, that was going to meet the same fate. So I grabbed it and I stuck it in the back of my lot. And it'll sit there indefinitely, you know. At least it's not those parts, even just the valuable frame parts aren't just going to get crushed like that. You know, maybe I'll turn it into a car. In fact, like I'm very, like I said, I always used to tell people when I was parting cars, I treat them like the Indian treats the buffalo, where everything is sacred. You know, nothing goes to waste. And it's like the Gambler 500 car that we're building right now is the perfect example. That was a parts car that had given up all of its saleable parts. And so I took what was left and I turned it into, or I'm turning it into, you know, a whole other car. So it's getting a second lease on life. But for you guys, like I said, if you're looking for project cars and you can't seem to find anything, this is definitely a way that you can get yourself into the market. And, you know, not for nothing, it's a nice equitable way to enjoy the hobby too. You know, maybe you're not necessarily looking to buy stuff, but you can rescue it and turn it around to other people. You can actually turn some nice coin doing it. So, anyway, it's a mess out there today. I'm going to head back on Wednesday and grab, I need the drive shaft, I need the seat, I'm going to grab the dash harness. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to pull off of that car. If you happen to beat me to it, save those items for me. I need them. So, that's it. Back to the shop, going to work. See you tomorrow.